I have a prayer today. Let's pray. We should follow Christ in a way of compassion and understanding. Even though my human viewpoint, there may be much I find difficult to understand. Christ in me gives me spiritual insight that enables me to see beyond what seems to be and to keep faith in the goodness at the heart of it all. Everything is going to be okay, maybe not today, but eventually it will. Trust God, hold fast to your hope. God never fails. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Start with Jerry.
So on June 15th, for the Airport Authority, approved the request for partial payment number 1 for Hummel Construction for the T-Hangars project in the amount of $54,999.95. And on June 17th, for Department on Aging, approved hiring Laura Fay to the position of full-time Recreation and Education Assistant to be effective June 28th, 2021 at the rate of $14.83 per hour with a 1-year probationary period. The offer of employment is contingent upon the successful completion of the required pre-employment condition. And for transit, approved an unpaid personal leave of absence for David Laird Jr., Operations Manager, for up to 16 hours during the pay period June 17th, 2020. I'm sorry, just during the period June 17th, 2021 through June 21st, 2021. This will extend his probationary period by the number of hours used.
Thank you, Jerry. Adrian?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, Adrian.
So today's financials included a cash advance from the general fund to the law enforcement block grant for additional money needed to purchase the mobile data terminals, which will be paid back when the funds are received from the state, and also a transfer from the general fund to the airport construction fund for the final grant match on the runway lighting and safety improvement project. Encumbrances include 2 travels, one from the engineer's office to send 4 employees to leadership training, and one from the juvenile court to attend the Association of Family and Conciliation Court Conference. Contract PO from Transit to Mohawk Resources Limited for a new bus, which will be reimbursed to the department from the state. And among the vouchers are $119,332.25 from the Commissioner's Office to the Portage Yaga Joint Juvenile Detention Center for third quarter operations, $45,999.95 from the Commissioner's Office to the Airport Authority to pay pay request number 1 for the T-Hangar construction project and loan, and $44,057 from the Transit to the Treasurer, State of Ohio, for their share of a new bus. And finally, a revenue certification from Common Pleas in their pre-trial release supervision fund for additional revenue received.
Is that the payment you just approved for the
Yeah, 45.
45,
Yes.
yeah. I'll make that motion. Second.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Commissioner Ward.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Adrian.
Budget Commission, Jim Flay, our prosecutor.
Good morning.
Hey,
Morning.
morning. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Okay. So, Budget Commission members are taking turns, if any of the groups need somebody to come and talk about undivided local government fund and some changes that we've approved and are proposing for approval by the various political subdivisions. So just to give you a little background on this, I think most of you got all of the paperwork, but the undivided local government revenue, it's about $1.5 million per year, and it's divided up amongst the political subdivisions in the county, generally between the county itself, the municipalities, and then the townships. There's a statutory formula. There's a statutory formula for dividing this up, and then there's an alternative method, which is what we've been operating under. There was originally an alternative method. I think the first one we adopted was in 1981, and then the last time it was changed was 1989. And so what our alternative method that we adopted
The county itself, I believe, gets 38%. I don't know where they came up with that. And then the rest is divided up amongst the municipalities and townships. And this is just it's a small revenue stream, and it's been cut over the years. So we've always dealt with percentages. So when the state cuts it, you know, your percentage stays the same, but you've seen that go down. So the 38% county share is about $560,000, and then there's the additional shares. One of the things they did in 1989 was they gave money to the park districts, and just in general. And we don't know why they did this. The parks are not entitled to get this money under the statute, but under the alternative form, we can give them some money. And the way it was done in 1989, it was a graduated formula, but it ended up, I think the first year was 50 cents per person in the county, or per person within the park district boundaries, up to $1. And then it's been $1, I think, since 1992 or something, 91. So each park district gets $1 per person for their respective jurisdiction, whatever they're in. So what that results in is the county park district gets $1 per person, which based on the last census is a little shy of 94,000. Thompson Park gets about $2,300. Chester Park gets about 10 grand, and then the two Russell Parks get $5,200. Couple things with this. This whole thing started with the Budget Commission when we were looking at the formula. Russell formed a second park district. I don't know if you read about that in the paper. So there's been a lot of turmoil there. They have two township park districts. One's probate appointed, one's township trustee appointed, which is perfectly legal and fine.
Isn't the one park not even really, I mean, it's just a name only? I mean,
They both
have no
kind of
land-
are.
They have no land, they have no, it was just a attempt to try and break away from the current park or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure the one they call the Citizens Park, which
Yeah.
is the newer one. So the original Russell Park has quite a bit of land, but then they turned that over to the county park district to basically manage. So both of them, and I don't know if the Citizens Park, I think the trustees were maybe going to give them that land off of that, like landlocked land off of the power lines up there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk, but they're really
They
just.
both put levies on that failed.
Yeah.
So basically, anyway, the reason this came about was
Yeah.
when they formed the new park board on the Budget Commission, we said, okay, well, you know, Russell Park gets $5,200 a year, so we're just going to split that in half, and then they'll each get half of it, right? Well, we looked at the formula and we said, no, the new park also gets $5,200 a year, and that came out of the pockets of everybody else in the county
Yeah.
because
I mean, isn't that thing like Limpinel, like, isn't it barely even a park? I mean, I don't even know if it can be considered a park still, right? I mean, it lost its levees, it has no land, you know, right?
Yeah, listen, I'm on this, so last year at the Budget Commission meeting, it was a 2-to-1 vote. I voted to take away all their funding, because I think both of those parks are just existing to support administrative, and they don't do anything, either of
Yeah.
them.
Well,
But on the Citizens Park, I just, the other two commission members did not see it my way. So, but anyway, the parks aren't entitled to get the money under the statute. They are under the formula. So one of the things that we thought was unfair, okay, let's say if Bainbridge formed a park district, they would get, you know, however many people, they would pull that out of the pot. So it's kind of unfair that some of these townships, when these townships have park districts, all the other townships are paying for it. Like, they're taking money from Munson and from Hamden and from Clarendon, and that's who is financing the Russell Park. So that was, I mean, with the county park district, it doesn't matter, but.
Right.
So one of the things that we're proposing eliminating the $1 per person for each of the park, for all the park districts, and redistributing.
Even the Geauga Park District, the county park district.
Yes.
I mean, that's a lot of money there, $93,000, right?
I mean, to be honest with you, they have their levy. I don't see why we give any money to anybody. I would say focus that on the county and on the townships.
Well, that was kind of our, I mean, the Geauga County Park District had a cash carryover January 1st of $6,662,370.
The county, yeah.
The county park
Yeah.
district. That was their cash carryover.
Yeah.
With their cash carryover and their revenues this year, they have a budget certificate of $17 million. So I haven't heard them complaining. They haven't complained to us. The only one who's complained is Hunting Valley, which is the other thing I'm going to bring up. So the other problem the other very unfair thing that we saw, and I don't know if you guys saw the letter from Hunting Valley's solicitor, but they, Hunting Valley, we have a guarantee of a base $15,000 per entity that's also in the formula.
Yeah.
So no matter how big you are, how small you are, you start off with $15,000. For most people, that's they're going to get more than that anyway. But there's some smaller entities where the base amount matters.
So every single township starts off with 15,000?
Yes.
Okay, and then, so what are these numbers? This is on top, or no, that's the population?
Based on population.
Okay.
Yeah, and then based on population, we redistribute the remaining money.
Okay,
Well, one of the problems, so Hunting Valley has 116 of their residents in Geauga County, but they were still getting the base 15,000 plus some. So they were getting from us, under the current formula, they are getting $16,000 a year. From Cuyahoga County, their undivided local government, they get 8. So we give them twice as much in undivided local government as Cuyahoga does under their formula. And then,
It's crazy.
who makes up these formulas? The
well,
high-rise
we are
code?
right now.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
For us.
Right.
So so that was another thing that we looked at where, well, wait a second, Hunting Valley's mostly in Cuyahoga County, and they're certainly from a need-based perspective. I don't know. We don't review their budget because they're a Cuyahoga County entity. But because the way this formula was written, they've been getting this $16,000 a year. So what the other proposal we were asking for with the new method would be to just award them a per capita amount. So they would go to $116 a year from $16,000. We would just give them $1 per resident. If your political subdivision is not located wholly within Geauga County, which only applies to Hunting Valley in this case, you get $1 per capita.
I would agree with that.
Now, Hunting Valley's, their lawyer and I have had some spirited discussions. They're very upset about that. He wrote a lengthy letter that I think all of you got about this. I kind of laughed. I mean, I think Ebenezer Scrooge would blush a little. They're the 17th wealthiest place in the United States and number 1 in Ohio. And we've been giving them twice as much money every year as they're getting from Cuyahoga County, where they're mostly located. And now they're, threatening us over changing the formula. They have 116 residents, from a need-based perspective. And if we distribute the park money, like you said, some of them have levies, some of them don't. I don't think the county park district really, would care because they have a lot of funds.
Well, everybody has a levy here. I mean,
No,
everybody-
Not everybody.
Not everybody. So
Well, the townships all can levy.
no, but their parks don't. So, but I mean, our perspective was, should we really be giving the Russell Park that doesn't really do anything? Should we be giving them $5,200 of everybody else's money?
No.
See it.
No, that, for sure, the Citizens Park one is just I don't even know what it is. It's not, I wouldn't consider it a park, I mean, the other one, I would say, yeah, historically, that's been a real park.
Our other position, and I'll kind of speak for the commission, if a township wants to fund its park, that should be up to the township to do. I don't think that I don't think parkmen should be paying some of their money to support a park in another
Right.
township.
No,
I agree.
but this is I mean, I don't think they're, it's all in the way you look at it, I think. But yeah, the local government fund, I think historically was, it's very little amount of money, but it was distributed amongst all these political subdivisions. I don't see it as them paying for it, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so, for example, Chester Park, I mean, they would lose $10,000 under this. But Chester Township is gaining 14 $1,500. So,
Can they help
to-
them out?
exactly, they can
Okay.
just give them,
Yeah.
they can fund the park,
Yeah.
so, but see, that should be, Chester should make that decision.
Does
That
Chester
money
run
shouldn't be
that?
coming out of the pool.
So does Chester Township?
That's
run-
no, Russell and Chester Park districts are probate appointed.
Oh, okay.
Thompson Park is a township park, and then the Russell Citizens Park is a township park. So,
Most of the small townships have a park board advisory committee.
yeah.
And then the trustees out of the general fund doles out money for different projects, either park benches or whatever. So the township is the base. I mean, we'll try to give them as much money as we can to have them make the call on what to do with the money.
Mm.
Well, and then some of the, for example, this isn't a lot of money. I mean, when you take this money out and then put it back in the pot and then redistribute it, it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but a place like Huntsburg, for example, some of these smaller towns, they're
Yeah,
getting
it's a
another
lot.
$5,000, and some of these smaller townships, I mean, you're a township trustee,
Right.
they're getting they'll do a fire levy or a road levy, but their general fund's usually pretty tight. They
Oh,
don't
yeah.
have a lot of general fund money, and then they've got to pay
Oh, yeah.
all their trustees and a fiscal officer, and they have to, so some of their general fund
I'd
is
almost,
really crushed.
I'd almost like to look at the formula in a whole different lens, is try to help the smaller townships with the tighter budgets, if there's a way to do that.
Well, I mean, the most fair way to do it is to just do it by population. We did not mess with the county share because we just felt that we didn't want to rock that boat. So, I mean, your 38% stays the same, although, and that'll stay pretty
That 500,
static. Yeah.
560 or whatever it is.
So, but you're actually not, you're taking 38% off the top because their percentage comes out of the rest of the pool. All of them are seeing an increase. Yours is just staying the same.
What do we?
So all that increase is going to all the townships.
I mean, our local government funds just go right into the general fund, or do we do anything specific with those dollars?
I believe they just go right into the general fund.
And then
So just includes, it's just like
Okay.
the sales tax.
Oh, okay.
And it's decreasing because for a while it was
So is
650,000.
Huntsburg going up 5,000 and you're still including the regular park district?
No, that's eliminating the park, all the park districts, and eliminating, and changing Hunting Valleys drastically. That pot of money getting redistributed, on that chart that we sent you. Auburn's getting another $9,100. Chardon Township's getting $6,500 more. Chester's getting $14,466.
And if they want to put some of that money in the parks, they can.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Let
the
them have
big,
control.
so the big park though, the big Geauga County Park is going to lose close to $94,000.
Yes, they'll lose $93,389. That's what
I mean,
they're
that's,
getting now.
that's a lot of money for some. I mean, even though they have a big carryover, it's still right. I mean,
Yeah, I guess they're not in, by the statute, they're not entitled to the money. The formula, we've given them the money all these
Right.
years. I guess,
thinking
about
about it, yeah,
do we eliminate the parks and give,
Yeah.
that's part one, and
Okay.
then part two was this other issue.
The Hunting Valley one, that one to me is pretty easy to digest. Yeah, and that parks, I just think there's, for like Chester Park, for example, when you take $10,000 out of the budget, now I don't know what it is, but that might be a big blow to them.
Oh, it's gonna be a huge blow to them. I mean,
Right.
they're gonna have to
Yeah.
go to their township.
Yeah.
But the
And-
township's going to gain 14,000.
Exactly.
And they'll have to go to their township trustees and say, we need this and this for the park, and they'll most likely allow it.
It's putting it in the hands of the trustees. Again, right now,
And they can.
all of
Yeah,
us
right.
They
are-
can give it to the
Oh, yeah,
parks.
yeah.
They can.
all of us are
Yeah,
paying
they
for.
can do that.
Oh,
We're
okay.
paying for Chester Park.
Yeah.
All of us right now, because
Yeah.
it's coming out of. I mean, in a sense, it's coming out of the pot.
Mhm.
So every township and municipality are paying for these township parks. The county park, yeah, we're all in the county. I get that,
Mhm.
but that was one of the. That's what really started this whole thing. Was why is everybody paying for these township parks? All the other township residents.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think clean it up and and every year we're getting less and less dollars that I think that to be able to just turn it over to the trustees and let them make the right decisions.
Yeah, I agree.
Could the county take our portion of it and give it to the county Geauga County Park?
probably could. I'd have to research that to see if that's something you could do, but you probably could if you wanted to.
You know, because I haven't talked to them yet about this, and I don't know what their take is on it. I'm sure they're probably not going to be happy about it, but, you know, John Oros, I don't know if you talked to John about it.
I have not heard from them. I thought that they would object or send a letter or send an
Yeah.
email or something. I haven't heard anything from them.
Because I know they took a big piece off last year, didn't they? Didn't they take a levy off last year or 2 years ago?
2 years
or
ago was like
something?
0.8
Yeah.
of a mil.
Yeah, I think they
0.08.
lowered their.
Yeah, but didn't they renew instead of,
Yeah,
or replace instead of renew? I don't know that they actually lost money.
they probably did not lose money, but
They took some.
they took something away and then added something new, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure, I don't remember, I thought I remember something being said, but, you know, it'd be interesting to hear what John has to say about it. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
because
listen,
I'm
nobody
not
likes-
familiar, I'm not familiar with what their budget is. I mean, I know they have a big budget, but I don't know how tightly it's, you know, every year if they're,
Well,
you know,
I'll tell you,
banking on this 95,000 or. you know.
they estimated a $5.5 million cash carryover for
Mhm.
January 1st of this year, and they ended up with $6.6 million. So they were $1.1 million more than they estimated as their cash
Sure.
carryover.
Yeah.
So what they actually ended up with.
Yeah.
So, I
I
mean,
mean, I don't know, you know, it's been a unique couple of years too, you know, as far as spending the money, you know, I don't know what projects they had in the works or, you know, what, you know.
And
You know,
most-
I'm not familiar with what's going on there.
Most of the smaller townships, their budget is like 1.5 or 1.6 million to run the whole township.
yeah, I think for,
Versus 6 point something million carryover from the Jogga Park district.
Right, but it's apples and oranges comparing those two budgets, you know, they're doing completely different things.
yeah, I think a place like Clarendon getting another, more than $4,000 means a lot.
Right.
So that's the way
Okay.
we kind of looked at it, but.
Okay,
And if the park district ever came into a need, because our number would go up also, correct?
No, yours is staying
It would always
flat.
stay flat, okay.
So you're taking, you
38%.
take 38% off the top.
Understood,
Yeah, and then the rest is getting distributed. So
okay.
you aren't realizing any gain from this, but which would you really want yours to go up versus
Right,
giving
right.
the money to?
No,
the
exactly.
I think the
townships?
townships need the assistance.
more,
Yeah.
Our number-
That's what our feeling was.
Our number goes up and down depending upon what the state sends us.
Right,
that's right.
But the percentage is staying the same.
Yeah, and then, if the state sends less, everybody's taking a percentage, so everybody's goes up or down. I mean, I don't think it's going.
So John, you said you talked to John and you.
No, I haven't.
Oh.
I just haven't heard from
Oh.
them. They haven't just said one thing, one way or the other.
You know, because I know there's some other, you know, I don't know the details, but some other things happening with the park as far as financially and their IT and some different things. They're moving stuff around, right? I mean, you know, what are they doing? They're separating from the county auditor as far as their fiscal officer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what the cost impact, I mean, that's gonna cost them a lot more money because
Mhm.
they're paying for something that they get for free now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure there's a cost to that, but I haven't heard,
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be $6 million though.
No, I mean, you know, they have projects going, you know, I just don't know what that carryover, you know, there could be a story behind that $6 million. I don't know if they're just, you know, hoarding money or if they have that ready to go for a couple other projects, you know, I don't know.
They've put a chunk into that into like land acquisition
Okay,
fund.
yeah.
So, and again, that makes sense. I mean, they would
Yeah.
keep but like I said, what I look at, just from a budget commission standpoint, with whether it's the park district or the townships or anybody, is what did you estimate based upon all your expenses, how much money you were gonna have at the end of the year or the beginning of the next year
Yeah.
versus what you ended up with?
Yeah, yeah.
And like I said.
Yeah,
they-
when it's more, yeah, I mean.
more than $1 million
Well,
more than they thought they'd have.
Yeah,
Just this one year.
I'm biting my tongue from last year, what I would have estimated and what the sales tax revenue that we've gotten in this year has been, you know, right? It's been way more than we've ever anticipated. We were thinking making 20% cuts, you know, a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I still don't understand that. I mean, I kind of have an explanation for your sales tax, but, yeah, I mean, the county everybody experienced that because we lowered the estimate for property taxes to 95%. The budget, we recommended that from the Budget Commission. So, between the 95% estimate, which was way off because we ended up being like 100%.
Right.
And then the sales tax revenue, which nobody anticipated from the
Right.
state on down.
Now-
Yeah, I mean, the county had a pretty significant surprise cash carryover. Now, again, you've got a huge capital project that you can,
That's right.
yeah, you can ease the debt
Point to
burden.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So,
And then, you know, potentially there's another big windfall on the horizon here, right, with the, what are they calling it, the American recovery? Yeah, so,
Recovery or.
yeah, we might as well just go home, I don't know what you need a budget for if you got all that, right? I mean, what's, right?
well, you know, the
We have to
problem
make
is,
sure- We have to make sure it doesn't get spent.
Spent,
on
yeah,
stuff
that's
gonna
right.
be- That's gonna cost us more down the
That's
road
right.
when we're not getting that win.
well, they want to give you all this money, give ourselves our money back, and then, you know, then, but you can't use it for tax relief.
Right.
So I know there's a pending lawsuit on that. To see-
Trying to use that to
to
like
be
cut
able
the
to
sales tax for a year or
yeah,
something.
exactly.
yeah.
So if you want, so you're not allowed to provide tax relief, which is the frustrating part. But
Yeah.
you know, again, I think that you could. We're still researching it, but you know, I'm hopeful that there's ways. You know, there's some other options. I mean, certainly there's other capital expenditures the county needs to make, as you know.
Yep.
You have this huge debt load that, you know, maybe you could fund operations and then throw some of that money into, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
paying down the debt service on that.
Like Jerry said, though, we don't want to spend it on something that's going to cost us more down the road.
Right.
Hopefully, yeah, yeah,
Increase our expenses
Our
down the road. We're not
exposure,
gonna get
yeah.
that windfall each year.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where I think people are making a mistake, like hiring a bunch of new
Right.
people. That's
Yeah.
those are legacy costs you're incurring.
That's right.
You know, whereas I think there's other things you could spend the money on, but that's a whole nother
Yeah,
discussion.
yeah.
Again, the
Okay.
county's in extremely healthy financial shape.
So, do you need something from us today, or do you?
Yeah, I would need you to, just by motion, to, so language on here. Just by motion to approve the undivided local government amended method of apportionment.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Commissioner Rea?
Yes.
I, you know, just to, you know, put it on the record, I do want to talk to John, or, you know, maybe you could reach out to him, or, you know, I just want to hear the impact, because if it is something down the road that maybe we can discuss that further with them, but, you know, I don't know, maybe this is just, I would imagine $100,000 out of your budget's going to be a surprise, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think anybody would want to lose $94,000.
Yeah.
But I think that,
They could
I mean,
petition to us.
the impact to him of $94,000 is certainly a lot less than the impact to a place like Clarendon, who's getting an increase.
Right,
And I
right.
think they'll be very appreciative.
Right,
So,
right.
You know, because the county really has to, it's a majority vote approval from everybody else, so the county has to approve it.
And then all the townships.
And then, yeah, the townships and municipalities, it's just a majority vote.
Okay.
The city also, the city and the county have to approve it. The largest city and the county have to approve it.
So Chardon's gonna, yeah.
They already approved it.
They didn't.
But then the rest of the townships and villages, it's just a majority. The ones that have taken it up already, I believe all that have voted in favor.
Yeah.
Russell's tabled it, and I haven't heard from Chester yet. So, I mean, because they're the ones that are impacted with their park district. So I'm not sure. Russell hasn't said no, but they haven't said yes yet. They just
Yeah.
haven't voted on it
Yeah. I live in Russell, in this township, Citizens Park. I was familiar at the time with what it was, and I believe it was just, you know, a group that was, you know, disgruntled or unhappy with the current operation of it. So they wanted to go out and, you know, duplicate services, which I was not in favor of as a resident of Russell Township, having two park districts doing the exact same thing, right? You know, but this thing, it has no land, it has no money. I don't know if it's even standing on two legs or not, you know.
Yeah, like I said, I voted to cut off their funding.
Yeah.
But the,
I mean, I don't know how they even exist at this point, you know.
but again, as a citizen of Russell, now they won't be getting the stream of money from everybody else. The trustees may or may not fund them, and as a resident, you can go tell your trustees whether or not you want to.
That's right, right.
So, okay,
All right.
thanks a lot,
Yeah.
guys.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Good.
Okay,
Thanks.
thanks.
Good. Thank
Sorry
you.
to take up so much of your time.
No
No.
problem.
Thanks, Jim.
Cindy's here for the next one.
Okay.
He's leaving her hanging.
It's a big part. I don't know if
And he's leaving, he did, he just ran out the door.
Fine.
He's running out the door, yeah.
Townships
Yeah.
I don't
Because
want to
every-
hear
every
about your
township
grave
does
cuts
that,
again,
right?
is what he's gonna say.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. It's bleak and dismal in the grants world for victims of crime, but,
Really?
yeah. So, the past, well, since 2018's, well, 2019, 20, now this year, I've been coming and telling you guys about the cuts, the victims. The Department of Justice has been cutting funding for victims, and they're trying to funnel more money into assistance of defendants to get some drug and alcohol counseling and job coaching, and so they're taking the money away from the victims and putting it towards the accused to try to, they're hoping down the road.
This is the state?
Yes, no, federal, Department of Justice.
Federal.
Yeah. Their hope is that by trying to solve the problem up here, there'll be less victims to service down here, and I don't see a decrease, but.
Mhm.
So this year, they changed the way we can apply for a grant. They told us the maximum we could ask for. So my program, or the prosecutor's program, was told we could only ask for $29,938. So that is a 35% cut over what they gave the award last year. And last year's award was a 26% cut over what I got the year
So
before.
what's the total amount for last year,
So in 2000.
for these cuts?
So I'll start in 2018, my full award was 66,208. Then in 2019, I got a 7% cut, and I was awarded 61,573. Then in 2020, with a 26% cut, I was awarded 45,777. And then this year, I haven't gotten the award yet, but I was told the most I could get was 29,938, which is a 35% cut. So overall, since 2018, the grant's been cut 55%.
So give me an example of how we put those monies to use in Geauga County.
So, well, I can just say that this year's grant only was enough to fund my salary and my benefits, my health care. I didn't have any money for supplies. I had no money for training, which I'm a credentialed advocate, so I have to do continuing education. I had no money. Jim had to lend me money for that.
So you'll,
Or
as
give
a,
me money. He doesn't expect me to give me money.
in your job, I'm sorry, just so everybody understands what you do.
My title, I'm the program director for the Prosecutors Victim Advocacy Program.
Yep.
So I assist victims of felony level crime. That's my genre. The Sheriff's Department have their advocates. The municipal court have their advocates for municipal level stuff. Tracy Jordan kind of fills in the gaps, and she's awesome. She does a little bit of everything. So, and we all work together well.
Yeah.
But my focus is the common police court and the juvenile court.
And so a victim, how would you help a victim? What would be?
So there's,
do?
Marcy's Law is a part of the Ohio Constitution. So by the Constitution, by law, we have to notify victims that are crimes. We have to, or notify victims of crimes. We have to guide them through the process. We have to keep them notified of hearings, sentencings. We have to work with them, with the courts to get restitution for them. We help, there's a program called VINE, which is Victim Identification and Notification. So when a prisoner is sent to prison or jail, we set them up with that where they can be notified from the state of releases, if they post bond, things like that. So they're aware that they're out and about, if they should run into them at a store or something, like that is very important to a victim. We work with Victims of Crime Compensation Program with the Ohio Attorney General's Office. They will cover some forms of restitution, not material restitution, but they'll cover crime scene cleanup or funeral expenses or time off work, therapy bills, things like that.
So you're somewhat, in other words, like an ombudsman for the victim to help them through their process dealing with
Exactly.
courts and so on, and
Yeah, we
from
set
A
up-
to Z.
Exactly. Set up meetings with law enforcement, set up meetings with prosecutors to go over testimony if we have to have them testify at trial. I go to hospitals with rape victims to sit with them during a sexual assault exam. So yeah, you're right, it's A to Z,
Okay.
from when you become a victim of a crime and until we get them through the sentencing process and beyond for parole and.
I mean,
things
to
like
me,
that.
you know, it sounds like they're making a bad decision on cutting back on this side of it, for sure.
I would agree.
Right?
I
Yeah.
would agree, I would agree.
You know, locally, or in Geauga County, you know, I think there's ways that we could help, you know, what you're doing, you know, I think to kind of circle the wagons, we do it in other agencies throughout the county to help where the state or the feds are lacking. You know, and I feel strongly in what I'm hearing that, you know, we need to continue to support this, you know. You know, I don't know if there's ways that we can do that to help with her match or to help supplement some of that or not.
It's usually, in the past, like this year, it's been, the prosecutor's office has included it in their budget.
In their
for
budget.
What they're losing from the state or from the feds.
Okay.
It's been wonderful about.
Okay.
So I will say that,
Because it's certainly a program we want to keep going.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you fill out this grant for the VOCA grant, you have to get a 20% match unless you get a waiver. So
Mhm.
I am asking for more than the 20% match, just because I'm just not asking for increase of what you've granted us in the past. I'm just asking for the funding from you to stay the same, so that it's
Yeah.
just a little bit less than I have
Yeah.
to make up. And I have been researching other grants. I've applied for a few to see if I can get some money on our own, and everyone's doing that because everyone's getting these sorts of cuts.
Yeah.
I mean-
Well, I'd be in support of you, you know, obviously today I'm in favor of what you're requesting from us, but if you would, you know, go back to the drawing board and put together a real game plan of what exactly you feel that to do this correctly would be, and then present it to us again and see what that would look like.
Okay, all right, I'll talk to Jim about that
Yeah.
and put some figures together, but I guess this is just because we have to, you know, apply,
Mhm.
and as long as I can secure the funding, at least that much in funding, then that will cover the 20% match that I'm required to
Good.
have.
Okay.
Okay, is there a motion?
Thank you.
Thank
make
you
that
for your
motion.
Second.
support.
Yeah.
Commissioner Spillier?
No, thank you very much.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Thanks
you
for
all
coming
so
in.
much.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Good to see you, you have a good day.
Yep.
Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome. I'll give it to you this afternoon.
Maintenance Department.
Morning.
Good morning, Glenn.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Number 6 is our postage machine. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong one. Number 5 is the postage machine. We've updated the contract, they changed their names, they sold the company, so we're just trying to do an addendum to change the name on that. Also with this is our meter reading with the postage through the post office. We're gonna extend that for 2 years to bring it out with this machine and keep this going, try to keep this contract as simple as possible.
Great.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Commissioner Swire?
Yes.
No,
Thanks,
have a
Glenn.
good day.
Appreciate
Okay.
it. How's your vacation? Good?
Wasn't long enough.
No.
He was still dealing with stuff here while he was on vacation, so.
So I have 3 items today, and I have a handout for you that will share with you the American Rescue Plan Act.
Oh, yeah.
So the first item, we're requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the Ohio Water Development Authority application for release of retainer funds for Workman Industrial for the Auburn Corners wastewater treatment plant expansion, Joyner's wastewater treatment plant conversion project in the amount of $25,000. That's the money that gets reimbursed to the department. We've already paid $25,000.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
The next item, we're requesting the board approve the revised 2021 GCDF fees and service rates to engineering equipment, fire hydrant water theft, and new service lines to water mains to be effective 1 July 2021, and then the Troy Oaks wastewater plant sewer collection area customer sewer rate increase to be effective with the 2021 billing statement with subsequent increases over a 5-year period for residential customers and 4 years for business/commercial customers.
How much is that going up?
Is there an
Is there
attachment?
percentage?
Oh, it's right here.
Yeah,
Percentage wise?
the highlighted pages. She turned
The highlighted figures
Oh,
are
it's
in
over
the
5
fees
years?
and
Yeah.
services. The little chart is the 5-year
Okay.
and 4-year growth rates. And the reason we're doing that is because Troy Oaks no longer is a wastewater treatment plant. It's a pump station now, it pumps it over to Auburn Corners, and Auburn Corners is much more expensive.
I see.
Plus, we will start paying the loan on that. So,
Okay.
So slowly over the 5 years, the residents will match what the Auburn Corners residents pay, instead of a sudden lump sum, which would be pretty big for them. And then the commercial will also go up.
Right on.
So it's just equity issues since we're getting beneficial use.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Spiller?
Aye.
Mr. Lemon?
Yes.
Excuse me,
And
gentlemen,
that'll go through the, yeah.
question for Diane
Question on
Jones.
number 7.
Oh, okay. I do have a question about number 6.
Can I have your vote on number 7?
Yes.
And then she wants to go back to number 6.
Go ahead.
No, you indicated that there was a percent of increase, but I did not hear what that increase would be. So what is the
There's not a
percentage?
percent increase, but if you would like to see the chart, it's not a consistent percent.
Yeah, if you've got.
Can you wait till the end of the
chart
meeting?
to,
Yeah.
Can you wait till the end of the meeting?
Sure.
Thanks.
Well,
I can
the
tell
Can
you
you wait
right
till the
now.
end of the meeting? Thanks.
he can't answer my
No,
question?
wait till the end of the meeting. We're in a meeting right now.
Thank you, Mr. Spitaleri.
No problem, anytime.
Well, I figured that.
We'll move on to number 8.
Okay, department heads requesting the board approve and execute resolution 21077, authorizing Mr. Morak, President of the Board of Commissioners, to apply for, accept, and enter into a cooperative agreement for the planning of McFarland wastewater treatment plant renovation upgrade project between Geauga County and OWDA, and further authorize the President of the Board to execute the cooperative agreement for state planning project
And construction and planning
and a construction planning.
loan application.
So this is this cooperative agreement loan for the construction, the planning and engineering loan with OWDA for contractors to do design and planning for our construction
At McFarland.
at McFarland. Okay, and it's, had,
1,003,500.
yeah, $1 million. And actually, it's almost $2 million contract. The other balance is hopefully coming from Congressman Joyce's office through his infrastructure. So,
So this is the resolution that authorizes you to sign.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Spiller?
Aye.
Mr. Lemon?
Yes.
Mr. Spiller?
Yes.
and then I was just going to share with you. Early bird gets the worm. I've prepared the American, so I attended the County Sanitary Engineers Association meeting last week in Columbus, and they brought up the American Rescue Plan Act. And the unique feature of the American Rescue Plan Act is that those funds are eligible for water and sewer infrastructure. And I put together with the department a wish list that's attached to that. And what we could expend by fiscal year. I know that we're still all trying to determine how those funds will be used, but before everyone starts picking at the cadaver, I'd like to, because we really could use that money with what's coming up in the department. And that'll be, we won't have to raise fees, or we won't have to go for loans, so that can help quite a bit. Also, you can backdate, I think it's March 30th, any payments, it's March 30th, take that money and pay some of those debts. So it would be helpful. And there's, I don't know, the list is pretty thorough, the water and sewer items on there. So I'm helping us spend Treasury's money, which is our money.
So So when will we know?
From Joyce's office?
Yeah.
He said before the end of June.
Oh,
That's about $800,000.
okay.
But this is something else, that's not the
Right.
ARPA funds. So for your consideration, gentlemen.
Steve and I talked about it a little bit yesterday, so just prepare it together and give it to commissioners as options, so we can,
Sure.
plenty of options to look at.
Yeah.
Because the list is not in any order of priority.
Could we
None of
use
those
some of
are
that money
new
for,
projects.
if they qualify financially, you know, say for example, that Chardon Waste?
That's one of the things that we've looked at is that, going back to the LMI folks, the low to moderate income folks.
Like where the state and the
Where the
EPA wouldn't help out,
Yes.
we could help out.
We could help
Yeah, I
out.
think it's one of the last lines on the Excel spreadsheet.
And we even talked yesterday a little bit about, doing that possibly
Oh, yeah.
as a agreement with other property owners there, even if they maybe they're not LMI, but kind of you have 6
They're-
months to tie in. If you get tied in that 6 months, we'll,
Yeah,
we'll
some
reimburse
incentive.
you for the cost of
Yeah.
tying in, for the cost of putting that service line in.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be, okay,
So,
interesting.
some of the options. I'm still,
I like
I'm
that.
still going through all the rules and regulations that they put out, and the Treasury changes their rules and regulations each week.
On what you're allowed to do?
What we're allowed to do, and how we have to do it, and all that, so it's.
So when will that actually be acknowledged?
It's actually available now for us to get, but
Okay.
Adrian and I have not put in the paperwork yet to bring the money in, because I don't really want that money sitting in a fund where everybody can start seeing, try to pick from it.
But we can't lose it if we don't apply, right?
We have about another 6 months to apply for it,
Right.
so.
Actually, we just requested it, it's there. It's already.
It's there, it's sitting there for us to request it.
Really?
The fund has been established, the request was made to the auditor's office to establish the new fund
So
for tracking.
I see Cuyahoga County's getting $240 million.
If you go to the link that I put in the letter, it's pretty amazing
Yeah,
what
there's-
makes what county's getting.
Yeah, we're like a fly on a,
Well, that's Cuyahoga County. If you look at Cleveland, add another maybe 100
well, yeah.
million.
Holy moly. Didn't know that's, was even that much money in the world.
Any good news today, or?
No.
Good news. Well, the roads in Chardon, Berkshire Heights have been all patched. If you've been through there, it turned out actually quite nice.
So I got, the rate, so the rates, were those over, or are these annual numbers? Like,
So-
Are these, yearly? Or, I mean,
The rates are
monthly?
bi-monthly.
Monthly,
Bi-monthly.
bi-monthly.
So customers get a bill every 2 months.
Okay,
And the billing cycle annually starts for us with December.
okay.
So this ain't gonna happen overnight. There's 5-6 months for the people to adjust to that.
Yeah, so they're going up, well, it looks like the difference, it looks like in the first year it's higher, but then it gradually
Right.
goes down. It goes down.
There's a fluctuation across, we sat and discussed with it. We didn't do a simple percentage.
Okay.
So that's why I can't answer your question right away. And then, yeah, well.
Okay. Cool. All right, thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Steve. I'll have to check the roads out at the
Do it,
Henning,
please.
Henning Drive, and
I'll just follow you.
I'll walk the streets and
Walk the streets.
do a core sample.
No.
No, okay. Can't do that. All right. Number 9. You wanna read?
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 are all
Girl Scouts.
resolutions for the Kenston Service Units, Girl Scouts. The first two are the same troop, but they split into 2 groups. They did 2 different projects.
Okay.
And then the rest are all junior troops that earned their bronze awards. So no gold awards this year, but silver and bronze awards. So.
They always do such great projects.
And because of everything that was going on with COVID, they didn't do their normal ceremony this year.
Hmm.
The girls made videos about their projects and they put them together as a big movie. And they went on Friday, June 4th and watched at the drive-in,
Mhm.
the movie presentation that was done on all of the projects.
Okay.
So this is a resolution for 21-078 honoring Girl Scout Cadet Troop 71291 Group 1 for achieving the Silver Award, the highest honor for a Cadet Girl Scout. Resolution 21-079 honoring Girl Scout Cadet Troop 71291 Group 2 for achieving their Silver Award. Resolution 21-080 honoring Girl Scout Junior Troop 71484 for achieving the Bronze Award. Resolution 21-081 honoring Girl Scout Junior Troop 71409 for achieving the Bronze Award. 21-082 honoring Girl Scout Junior Troop 71131 for achieving the Bronze Award, and 21-083 honoring Girl Scout Junior Troop 71117 for achieving their Bronze Award.
I'll make that motion on all.
Second.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
Very impressive. Right?
Yes.
They have to be they have to complete journeys, but they also, their community project has to be community-based.
Yeah.
So it has to be beneficial to the community.
They come up with some really creative stuff every year. You know, you think
They-
you'd like start duplicating, but they always are original.
And they had to be creative this year because of COVID,
Yeah.
because the restrictions that
So
were
many
placed
things.
on them. They had
Right.
to do alternative things.
You gotta
Two signatures.
walk and chew gum at the same
Yeah.
time,
I forgot the bottom
wear a
page.
mask.
So then, Number 15.
While you're signing, the next item is the Commissioner's Office. We're requesting awarding the bid to Environments for Business LLC. This is for the FF&E for the new building.
Mhm.
Total bid came in at $1,242,531.18.
Great.
Which was below the overall estimate. And actually was around
Less than what-
300,000 less than our original, not the estimate on this bid, but 300,000 under our original original bid or preliminary numbers that we had in our budgets from the start, so.
Yeah. That's great. I'll make the motion.
Second?
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
The next item is a resolution to hold a work session at the Geauga County Airport Authority for the groundbreaking ceremony on the new T hangars, and that is the 29th. Is that correct? 29th.
29th of this month?
June, yes. We can't do the meeting there because we have the public hearing here in the morning for the budget hearing, the tax budget, public hearing for the tax budget. So regular meeting in the morning, and then we'll do just the groundbreaking as a work session at the airport.
I don't think I've ever been to so many groundbreakings in my life.
What-
I don't know if there's
third
been
one
ever that many in
fourth one
Geauga
a
County
year.
history,
Yeah.
right? We've gotten a lot done.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah, there's been a lot of progress this year.
Yeah, yep.
So I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes,
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
I got a collection of hard hats and shovels.
Is there anybody from the Girl Scouts here today?
No.
No?
I talked to Colleen this morning, and Sharp, because one of her troops was in the list. She was inquiring about, that's all Jim's file.
Oh, okay.
The red tabs are just Jim.
Let's see, I'll get over.
I'll be here till 1. so-
I'm running
They
on.
didn't even know that they had submitted the request to us for the resolution, so.
So, okay. Is there any Boy Scouts or no?
Oh, no, you have an executive session,
Oh,
and then I have some other items that
Okay.
you guys can review.
So we have what?
That's all.
Oh, okay.
so we have to go in
So you make a
executive session?
motion
Yep.
to enter
Is there a
into
motion?
executive session?
Yep.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
Very good.
And that executive session is for discipline of the public.
Joint Family Services. And
Thank you.
Mr. Sullivan.
I just want to make sure that it gets, because that's a
Yes.
open meetings.
Yeah, yeah.
Gets declared as a.
Who's in it?
Yeah, and it will be myself and.
Separate reasons.
This thing with the grant for the
For
victim.
Cindy.
Yeah, like, I wanna follow up on that, so
Okay.
we can find out.
And that just might be something that you guys talk about in the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the discipline issue, right? This is the discipline issue.
Sorry.
Make a motion to go back into regular session.
No, you just have to say that you're returning at 48.
Returning at 10:48.
Department of Job and Family Services is requesting the board accept the disciplinary recommendation of the Director of Job and Family Services to suspend James Zach, eligibility referral supervisor 1 for up to 40 hours, 5 working days without pay for violation of Section 3 of the Jogga County Job and Family Services Personnel Policy and Procedure Manual. And further, execute the order of removal, reduction, suspension, involuntary disciplinary separation form per ORC 124.34 for 40 hours, 5 working days.
Second.
Mr. Stewart? Mr. Lemon?
Yes.
Mr. DeWart?
Yes.
There should be
None.
marks on there for where you guys sign.
Where the little red X's are? You have to sign by your name.
Three X's is how they sign each document up there. Three X's. Yeah.
You're going to use it get a meeting or something.
Yeah.
Now that form is the same as the last chance of getting
No, I have the last chance agreement right here that he'll sign. I have to meet with him.
You need us to sign that?
No,
No.
that's just me. I have a co-appointing authority for you guys, so. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
I'll let you know how it
Let
goes.
us know.
I will.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thanks.
Christie.
Anything else, Jerry?
Yes.
We have a pile.
Okay.
The first thing is, we did get a request from Stephen Funk, Rotoll and Andrus, who's the attorney for the probate and juvenile court in the case against the auditor regarding bills that have not been paid. They are requesting an increase in the approved amount by $5,000, which would take it to $35,000.
This is the one he's talking about.
Based on the letter that that Mr. Funk sent, this is to cover the final phase of the hearings, the reply briefs, and the merit brief that would be submitted to the Supreme Court, and we get the Supreme Court's ruling on it. So the way we have done
So they're
this,
close to,
they're close to a final decision from the Supreme Court.
and it looked like, the way that it was proposed in the letter, it looks like this is he
This
feels
should be the
that-
final, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was an increase of 5,000. Looking at it and going through what has happened or what is processed so far, I think you guys have done the correct thing of doing this on a
Yeah.
piece by piece,
I agree.
because I looked at it and I could see where if you had just put out, an
An
approval for him to
open-ended-
do it,
Yep.
that we'd probably be up to about 70,000.
Yeah, and I think
So it's-
going forward, this is a good practice to have them come back to resubmit every so often, just to keep some check and balance on how much, these things can spiral out of control if and there was somewhat of an open-ended request in the beginning,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the initial request was just to approve them
Yeah.
at a rate.
So I would say in the
And,
future, any other requests coming from any other, we do the exact same thing.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, you're right.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I second.
Commissioner Spillier?
Nope. Yes.
Commissioner Lemon? Commissioner DeWart?
Yes. Can we sign here?
Yes. A couple other items that I have for you guys to discuss, and let me know whether you want to take action today or next week, is we have to appoint the Ohio Public Works Commission District 7 Integrating Committee for a 3-year term, which will be July 21st through July 20th of 2024. The request for the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board, Greg O'Brien submitted his application to be reappointed. That's for a 4-year term. That would be July 1 of 21 through June 30th of 2025. And then to look at your public library board of trustees. The one that we
Oh,
received
yeah.
3 applications for, we have to, that's a 7-year term, that would be July 21 through June 30th of 28. The mental health and the library both expire June 30th. So you have either today or next Tuesday to appoint to those, to be in before the new term starts.
For
we have
the
time.
library?
Yes, and for mental health.
Oh, both by next week? Okay.
And with the mental health board, Steve notified us yesterday that, what is the lady's name?
Oh, yeah. Kathy Johnson?
Jennifer
No.
Lane.
Jennifer Mulaney.
Oh, yeah.
Was
The president.
made the chairperson or president, and
Yeah.
Steve was made the vice chair.
That's right.
or vice
And I think it's the
president,
first
whatever it
time
is.
in,
Yeah, so right now on the mental health board, both the chair and the vice chair
are all
county
commissioners'
employees.
appointees.
Right.
Yeah. That's the first time, I think, in history. They've always
Probably.
been state,
Yeah.
state appointees.
Yeah.
I don't think Mr. Adams was very happy,
Well,
so be prepared.
we've got local residents involved in that now.
Which it should be, Ken,
Yeah.
for everything.
Right.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Since the meeting is adjourned, I do have some questions. She recommended that I come
I
up
gotta
and
go
ask the questions.
check with Jerry about court.
Sure, if you wanna take that up with the chair,
Oh,
He-
well,
he's been
actually, I
around
thought you'd
things
stick
like
around
this.
and answer
you
the
could ask the questions, and I think that you
Oh,
could
you're
ask
gonna
our
leave
clerk
it
for
here. Thank you.
comments or
Okay.
copies or whatever you
Thank
could.
you.
Good to see you.
Good, we're just
Always
talking about
here
some
to
of the new
help.
information from the state treasurer's office since we're allowed
Oh.
out and about now, so it's just all of our materials.
Good. How you guys been?
Good.
Yeah.
She brings water.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's nice, we're finally
Thanks
back
for
out on the
coming.
road
Yeah,
and
yeah.
going to see everyone, make sure everyone has all of our information.
How's
so.
Bob doing? Good?
He's good, he's
Yeah.
hanging in there.
Yeah.
I think he's coming into town next
That
week.
happened.
Yeah, he usually stops in here. Yeah.
So, I know I'm trying to get him up to Geog, I wanna do the fair with him.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be good.
Well, that's a
Yeah, so
good
I'll
time.
to do the full
Yes.
fair. We're
So
moving
I will let
forward.
you look at it.
That's a good time to stop.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, cool, alrighty, well, thanks for everything, so make sure you have that information and we'll be in touch.
Thanks.
Great, thank
Yeah.
you, see you later.
Guys, just explain to me what it's gonna cost
It's on Sugar
for
Falls
Auburn
Water.
Township
When they, when
people.
How you
the
doing?
city expanded
The information that you got.
Nice to meet
the
you.
water.
Well, you mean the rating basis?
High school.
Well,
I provided
There
to
was a
everybody
percentage
on
of
just the first 5 lots.
They hydrant there.
Okay.
It's a nice piece of
All right.
Yes, you can,
That's basically breaks it
come around
down.
the airport.
Okay.
So it'll go up the first year and then it goes down the next 4 or 5 or something. You know what I mean, the percentage wise. But there's rates in there bi-monthly, I guess.
Yeah, if you come in
What it
there.
is this is the trail that had to get that corner.
Right.
The difference between the two, so this would be an increase for Troy Oaks.
Yeah, that was all well before my time.
Right, and that's what he's trying to do, is with the new
All right.
changes, he's trying to
How you
get
doing?
Troy Oaks.
Good.
Yes,
good to see you.
Okay,
So it's not a huge increase for Auburn Corner. He's trying to
How's it going?
get
Tim
Troy
Lennon.
Can you continue over and go to the cul-de-sac?
Oh, yeah, okay. I got, you might know my nephew from East.
It just pumps up
Sean
to the top
Leonard,
of the
you know
hill.
Sean?
So it goes
I think he just graduated this year.
to the
And
plant.
Alice, she graduated. He's going to Dayton, and she's got a
Wastewater plant at the end.
Sarah. She was probably
It's
maybe
mostly
graduated.
that it's a Troy
Well,
Oaks.
she's done,
All the way
she's
to
maybe
the-
graduating from college now, so.
okay.
Goes
We're
fast,
trying to
yeah.
get them to where they.
What year are you at, Kent?
They're
So
further
they're
on
Goes
the
to the wastewater
left.
regular.
Senior, okay.
Okay.
Good deal.
Okay.
Somebody
Nice to meet you.
So that was-
Yeah, yeah.
And the rest of it is more or less like,
Oh,
just
good.
like
Very good.
engineers, dump
Yeah,
truck,
yeah.
like for
Do you
engineering
have a summer
equipment,
job?
for like their fees and service rates.
Yeah.
Thanks an awful lot.
Well,
Like their wastewater.
it's just nice to
keep busy.
Residential water meter pit fee.
I was just at a
Okay,
Boise
fire
State.
hydrant theft,
Okay.
this
Boise State
is like.
for a week.
The whole
Yeah, I just got
wastewater
back
plant.
from
Oh, yeah, what was that?
Is in Geog.
The American
Alright,
Legion?
so-
Oh, yeah.
Everything's
Just
everything's
the-
okay, goes right in.
That would be what would be.
Yeah.
Fully contained self-water treatment.
Oh,
So the board.
stop back anytime.
Yeah.
Give me a call
So
anytime.
that's what more or less.
Giant township trustees meeting.
Such a, I'm really.
Yes, I said, it didn't require
Community.
or
Yeah.
service.
Just 'cause that was
It's a big part of it.
Was a picture of the
Really,
Thank you for coming to meet you. Hi. Where are you guys?
I
League of
sure
Legends?
don't.
Okay.
Gotta get fined and a police
Yeah,
report
yeah.
today, that's usually what
Got
this.
it.
Cool.
And they don't like my.
Are you in
That
GeograCon?
was
Yeah.
frustrating,
Yeah,
just, you
okay,
know.
yeah.
The
So what
percentage
Steve was
of-
saying is that he's,
Okay,
because
okay.
our recorder has
So you
been
just
higher.
get out and about and see, going to some different meetings?
Right.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
airport
There's so
is-
many that goes
Yeah,
there.
I can
I'm
see
trying to think of
that
my
now.
favorites.
And it's
To see how this whole thing goes with the administration.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's still way.
Appreciate that explanation.
This is the only one that I
Commissioners don't have
have,
as
so
much
I
authority
can.
as everybody in the county thinks they do.
We get a lot
We
of
get
blame.
calls about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I have to reply back and
I don't know if
say,
there's
I'd love to
something
help you,
on here
but
that's
they don't have any authority.
Yeah,
You gotta go
yeah,
talk
yeah.
to
Going
them.
in that
We're
direction.
trying to set our way to the higher vice
I wonder
code.
what, who's gonna, they're gonna point to the library board.
Let me call Steve really quick, hold on.
Okay.
That's right.
I'm really fascinated.
Sorry for being frustrated, it was, but.
Well, they open,
you know,
I hear they're gonna
I
open
was
up
really
to 9
hoping
o'clock now.
It's so-
The library.
for the-
Like, I don't even know how this is gonna all shake out, because the first go around,
We're gonna
like,
try to get that one.
I try to take questions
which
at the
was a
end of the
different,
meeting.
it was
Yeah.
supposed to
forgot.
be related
The-
to
the
the
study
pandemic
room.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I
And
know,
I'm thinking
but,
like,
you know,
like
it was
washing
a
your
public
hands,
meeting
And
and,
they're hiring people if you want a job.
barriers.
I think carrying
Maybe
a
two,
percentage of
but next thing you know,
increase,
it's like,
and I
you're
was
sort of
waiting
building
for that
buildings down across
information
the
to
county
be
to hold all the
explained.
Yeah.
junk
It's
that
not
they bought.
forthcoming.
You know,
But it wasn't
just
a holiday.
wasting money, you know, buying snowplow
We
trucks
talked a
and
little bit
chainsaws.
more.
And I'm like, what does that have to do with the?
Hopefully they
pandemic?
can start to get better,
I mean,
because there's
so-
nobody in there.
Yeah, so-
And they have all that new fancy equipment over there. They can build this, do
Yeah,
that.
all the applications,
Yeah,
yeah.
you haven't been in yet. then you-
So-
Okay.
And every time I think I'm getting a handle on it, this, the federal government sends us a new set
You
of
can build
rules
this,
that we
do
have to
this,
Yeah, they changed
do this.
it. Move the goalposts. Yeah.
Start making- They got a lot of expensive stuff in there, and nobody uses.
Well, that's a
that
good
control
point.
section at all.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
I've
let's
not
go.
seen a single person that accepts the joke.
That's right, down the road,
And
it's
that's
adding
almost
to our
always-
budget.
That's one of the things like, I mean,
So you left again, didn't you?
the victims.
You annoy him.